Yes, comrades. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Comrade Pidgin Odimwengu. I'm one of the coordinator for Conscious and Study Group. And yes, we've started the day with the session with a very touching song sung by one young lady of Africa. You can call her Gen Z of Africa, probably from this other side of Kenya. If you really believe in Africa, and that's what she's pushing for us. So thank you very much for those who have joined us today. Permit me to recognize your presence. All of you from Brother Mauli, we have Brother Nana, Brother Benny, Sister Kanita, Sister Chisomo, Brother Gren, Sister Ida, Sister Kamo, Brother Eric, Sister Shaza, Sister Tapua, and we also have our chair, Brother Kwame. So once again, feel most welcome to our session today. And yeah, Sister Tapua, you're also most welcome. We are actually moving to the third part of Indigenous Knowledge System. I don't think in our history of our sessions we have ever had almost a session going for 3 times, but this is very touching and very concerned. That's why we move to the third time. And we have our presenter with us.
Brother Pigeon, we have Fokua. Remember Fokua's presentations?
Oh, Brother Fokua, yeah.
Yes, it went over 5 weeks.
Yeah, I remember Brother Fokua presentation on the Night Templar. I will actually advise you to look at that presentation on our YouTube channel. It's almost 2 years old. On the Night Templars, we were looking at all the mosaics and everything else. And Brother Fokua is running a ministry called Ministry of Spirituality, which is one of the great leaders with us. He's still part of us. And yeah, so this became the second session. And today we are honored to have our brother Nana, who will be taking us through this session. He was actually the first person to join us here. But before I introduce Brother Nana, permit me first of all to bring in Brother Kwame, who will also help chair this session today and is also our chair for our class, to welcome you officially and also welcome Brother Nana. Brother Nana, I've made you a co-host already. So in case you'll be sharing any presentation, feel free to share your presentation. Back to you, Brother Kwame.
Yes, Brother Pigeon, I think you've said it all. You're okay there, brother. You're sneezing a bit. Yes, brother Pigeon has said it all. Welcome. Let me not repeat all that he said, but just to say we welcome you all to the third and I believe final session on this topic of indigenous African knowledge. Yes, so I believe the brother is ready. Brother Nana Yao, it's a pleasure to have you once again. And please, if you are ready, proceed for us. When we get to the middle of our session, so our sessions are 2 hours. So in the middle of the session, about an hour later, we shall play the African national anthem, and then we will continue. So Brother Nana will present, and after he presents, we'll open the floor for questions. So anyone who has a question can ask Brother Nana to answer them. After Brother Nana answers the questions, then we'll open the floor for a discussion. So Brother Nana is going to present on what he believes is a version of AI. One might even say a universal version of AI that he believes has existed since our ancestors began. And he's called it with the Akan name. So those who don't know, Akan is a group, is a nationality on the African continent. They are based in both Ghana, Togo on the east, and in Ivory Coast on the west. And they come as far as the Atlantic coast. And our leader who has left us, or Sajifok Kwame Nkrumah, also comes from the Akan group called the Enzima. And the Enzima are both in western Ghana, and they are also in eastern part of Ivory Coast. So as you can see, we don't need borders in Africa because we are actually all one people. So our brother is going to present on Nananom, Abosom, Suman, which he has stated is actually AI. So brother, over to you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I welcome all comrades. It enthuses me to be part of an esteemed group like this, especially as it has become like a cancer within my blood to ensure that our ancestors take over what belongs to them. I cannot stand, but always to find a way to express how our ancestors have been grooming within my bones, my blood, and everything. I will first say that I have other interesting aspect of what I'm presenting also. In our subsequent meetings, I will share some of the highlights with the coordinator, and then we'll look at it. But let's take a gradual look at what I presented earlier, where it is not necessary to overemphasize. I will move on so that the questions will bring them out, because
Brother
this
Nana,
is the third. Yeah,
Brother
yes.
Nana, don't assume that everyone here has
Oh,
heard
okay.
your first two presentations. So you've got over about an hour, if you need
Okay.
to really explain to all of us what it is. Yeah. Disregard the other two sessions. Thank you very
All
much.
right. All right.
Oh,
Thank
no.
you.
Oh,
All right. So I term this artificial intelligence. It's a synthetic version of Nananom Abosom. First of all, my brother who did the introduction was trying to explain what Abosom could mean. Of course, within the presentation, I'll talk about them, but in general terms, it is our spiritual system, our divination system, or I should say our traditional consultative system. Our Western programming has blocked some of these things, and we are probably not able to kind of appreciate the fact that we can get information beyond the Western scientific, acceptable ways of knowing. This is what I'm trying to do. Artificial intelligence, a system that is reigning within our modern times. And Nananom Abosom, or ancestral spiritual consultative system, that has been demonized and then thrown away, especially by mainstream religion, supported by Western intelligence in many ways. I will want us to take a short look at this video. So he's asking him, what is it? And he said it is ancestral deity. It is an ancient deity. And the lady is so much surprised to understand that the video actually went viral. And then everybody wanted to meet this boy. In fact, we made an effort to meet him in the school, but it didn't work. For a child to get that intelligence to carve something like what I call organic mobile phone, that child should be taken very good care of, because he's getting a lot of signals from other dimensions. So this is an overview of the presentation. We'll have to look at understanding AI in our modern science. I know there are more aspects there, but we'll do our best. Then we'll have to also introduce what Abosom or Suman means in African spirituality, what we normally call the African spiritual intelligence. Then we'll do a comparative analysis. We'll look at the implication for development. In fact, I will talk about accessibility. Unfortunately, I'm using two laptops because this one messed up a bit for me. I'll pick that one from the other laptop. And then a call to action. What actually are we talking about in terms of what we mean by artificial intelligence? Now, the major thing for me is the mainstream narrative. You see, sometimes it is believed that once you are very successful in life, you probably need to show your source, which in academics, if you write a paper, you just need to credit the source of which you got your information. But this is not the case with artificial intelligence. The mainstream media is hyping the so-called creators of this artificial intelligence, but the source and where the inspiration is coming from, they don't tell people. They have actually demonized that source, and then they are just taking the glory. This will mean that indigenous knowledge system, indigenous technology had been sidelined. I'm very sure those who have been studying Egyptology would, ancient Egypt Kemetic knowledge will bear with me that the Kemetic understanding of intelligence, spirituality, or knowledge system was all round. There was no spirituality separated from science. Astrology, astronomy, physics, whatever you can talk about in our ancient times were studied together. So the interconnectedness was known. Our people were able to discern through the spirit to know the loopholes within the kind of knowledge system they were developing through this kind of consultative thing with the African traditional spiritual systems. But this has been ignored entirely. And I'm sure with the history we've learned throughout the start of the program, we know that this was demonized through the coming of Christianity and other religions and Western dominance. What this does is that it disconnects Africans themselves from their spiritual intelligence legacy. So an African who is supposed to find solution to things that are going on within his decision makings, his development, from his ancestral line, probably through consultative, through the Abosom and then the Suman, to know the way forward, the past, the future, and how to reorganize things, have been brainwashed to think that this is very bad and demonic. And for that matter, whatever an African is doing right now is a kind of lottery. You need probably to be super intelligent within the Western system to see things forward as many people may see it. Unless probably you have decolonized yourself to know that some things you need to consult. I will give a few examples as we go along, because there have been many times. Today I was with the Suman. I don't know those who are familiar with that term. In the Ashanti Kingdom, all the traditional priests who are in charge of the African spiritual deities, which they call Abosom, they have a chief. The king puts a chief in charge of them. I was with him today, and a gentleman who came there with a problem. The problem was that his ancestors came to him in a dream and showed him where he has kept a gold, and that he is coming to consult the chief so that he will help them on directives as to how they can assess that wealth. And the chief gave a lot of examples as to how many people went on their own way and some people have duped them and taken their gold away. So this is the disconnect I'm talking about. Now, what about if this whole mainstream narrative is a fact that this artificial intelligence, which has taken everybody by surprise, which everybody is using, everybody is praising the creators, using it to tease Africans that they have not created anything. What about if it is a mimic of something ancient, something that belongs to us as Africans? What then is artificial intelligence? Of course, since it's the modern thing that everybody is using, understanding it won't be very difficult. It is a machine system that imitates human thinking. For instance, if I have to write about probably the history of South Africa, I may have to sit down, consult a lot of books and stuff. Here we are talking of time and space. The time this will take for me to do all this consultation, write-ups, study them, to give a complete presentation in a twinkle of an eye have been merged within this artificial intelligence. So though it mimics human thinking, but it extends an effort beyond the human effort. What the human can do, the artificial intelligence can do in a super way. So, but fundamentally, it does not deny the fact that it's a mimicry of human thinking. Another thing or another feature of it is that it learns from data. Now, it doesn't give information on its own. Of course, I've said this several times that those who plan our education system, in a way, were trying to either hide something from us or were not consultative enough to know that the five senses are not the only forms of source of information. But here, what we are talking about as artificial intelligence gets its information from just a source, a data that has been given to it. So it learns from a data. Even if it has to create additional patterns, the patterns this intelligence creates to give information to whoever is assessing it still comes from the data that has been fed to it. So how does it work? It works through what we call programming. I mean, most of the time when I'm speaking to young Africans, I talk of the fact that they have been programmed. All the machines we are using now, I mean, if any of us is not using a laptop, a tablet, then probably is using a phone. And I think that whatever we are holding to listen to this presentation cannot print a document. Why is that? Because the purpose of that programming is to do what we are using it to do, but not to print a paper. In that sense, this artificial intelligence works only through the programming that has been done to it. Now, uses what they call algorithms, meaning that after it has programmed and people use them, they study the pattern of how these people use them, and they use that to develop its intelligence to give extra answers, extra information to their users. So in actual sense, the machine learns, but at the same time, it learns through the data that is inputted and data that it revolves around. So probably, if you like assessing AI, searching for African liberation, anytime you go to the artificial intelligence platform, whether it's for video, it's for information or whatever, because of the algorithms, they give you information that is based on your previous search and your the behavior and the characteristics that you have meted the system with. So you can access this through some applications like Siri, which are on most people's phones. Now, AI and ChatGPT has been linked with Google search and so on and so forth. And now this intelligence has also been inputted into self-driven cars, which most people are using in Europe. It's not very common, I should say, in Africa. So in a summary form, this is how the whole thing looks like. Artificial intelligence programs with the ability to learn and reason like humans. Then there is a machine learning algorithms with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. I think that was explained so that your behavior, your interaction with the machine, you get a feedback, and then it will look like the machine is reading your mind because it knows what you're going to type the next time. Then a deep learning, which the subset of machine learning, which the artificial intelligence neural network adapts. And then in this way, it gives a lot of information, and the amount of information that it gives, or the amount of data that it gives, becomes very huge because it goes into a deeper learning of checking your behavior, checking everything that works within your confinement. I mean, nowadays, what they have done is they even study the conversation, or the machine study the conversation you do with other people, and then they know your thinking pattern. So the question is, what is artificial intelligence? For me, people can sum this up to say the capacity given by humans to machines to memorize and learn from experience, to think and create, to speak and judge and make decisions. This sums up everything that we should understand about artificial intelligence. Now, I want to talk about language. I'm speaking English, and my listeners can understand me because there is a sensation and perception. The sensation is that their sense of hearing is hearing the voice. And the perception is that when I say "de" or when I say computer, they have been programmed to think that when the word computer is said, it means the machine that is in front of them. This is what I mean by sensation and perception. The computers we are using, communicating in AI system, speak a language that is not very common to we humans. I mean, the mathematicians would understand this in some way, and the programmers. I'm using this understanding, and I'll pick it to talk about interdimensional communication. Here, I'm talking about machine communication. If you send the word "UHAS," I mean, I did this one when I was doing a presentation at the UHAS, University of Health and Allied Sciences. And then you send the word "UHAS" to somebody, and unfortunately, it gets locked in the system. These are the binary codes that you will see. You will see the word "UHAS," but what you see is that the U will give you 01010101. The H will give you 01001000. The A will give you this, and then the S will give you that. So in natural sense, what you get from what do you call it? Sending "UHAS" to somebody from your phone, if it doesn't reach, it's from the 0 to the other number you are seeing there, the binary presentation of "UHAS." Just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. Hello, Prophet Motel. Please, I'm on a presentation. I'll call you once I'm done, please.
Yes, our brother will join us as soon as he's taking that important call. As you can see, our brother is needed.
All right, I'm done. We can go
on. All over the world. Yes, brother, carry on.
All right. So, I mean, this is a word we normally use. I love you. If your "I love you" gets stuck in your system, this is what will happen. This is the conversation you will see in a machine in between your phone or your computer and the recipient's computer, because the machine has to communicate in an understanding that is known to them. The device you are holding's job is to decode this into the message you sent earlier, the "I love you." So the "I love you" becomes "I love you" until the machine that is at the end decodes it. And that machine that decodes it is the device that decodes all the decisions that are made by the artificial intelligence for you to get the information. In fact, if you ask artificial intelligence a question and you don't get the answer to your phone, and you have to go between the system that runs between your question and the response of the artificial intelligence, these are some of the binary codes you get. In fact, if it is about programming, you may get the $sign and all those stuffs that will make you very confused. Now let's come to Abosom. What has the implication of what I just said got to do with Abosom? Here we are dealing with an intelligent system, an energy that is not within our dimension. That is probably within the 4th density, 5th, 6th, 7th density, depending on their strength, their age. I mean, we interpret things by time and space. In spirituality, there's no time, there's no space. Past, present, and future is still present. You can get this trace from most of the conversation with the gurus, with those who have attained the Christ-like or stuff. When they speak of the I am, always in the present. It shows you that within their realm, there is no kind of future and then a past. Everything is just happening and it's happening. If a conversation has to happen with people who live in extreme dimension to our 3rd dimension, imagine how for example, a binary code of their conversation to our dimension will look like. I mean, you can imagine. I don't have it. I have not been able to download that one, but I'm sure you can imagine that you may probably not get anything they are talking about, because the energies we are talking about has lived with the Mesopotamians. They have lived with the Kwame Nkrumahs. They have lived with most of the Nile Valley. They have lived with the pyramid times, spoken or listened to languages that are way beyond, difficult to understand, difficult to write, than what we are experiencing now. They have been in existence in if we have to interpret it in time and space, times that we ourselves cannot even understand. So imagine if such person want to talk to you with our limited understanding of this sense and perception. How are you going to probably understand what they are talking about? And that is why, or that is where the bosom, or that thing you see, I mean, I will show you later, that is where it comes in. So what is bosom then? A sacred energy embedded in material forms, sometimes maybe a stone, herb, wood, or metal, or a combination of them. In fact,
No sound?
Yeah, sorry. Is it just me or?
Oh, no sound. No sound.
Okay, I'll just check with brother Yao. Yao. Okay, he may have. Let me just check that he hasn't dropped off.
No, he's still there.
He's okay. Yeah, he's
He's
probably having
now,
internet challenges.
I think he might now have dropped off.
Yeah, he's having internet challenges.
Mhm.
This is the Abosom he's talking about, the artificial intelligence interfering with his presentation. Right, I'm sure he'll be back ASAP. So let's just be patient. We've had to do 3 sessions precisely because we keep missing his full presentation. Although he did do a shorter version, or he presented all slides, but gave a
We've just lost you as well. You're muted,
can contact
Brother Kwame.
as usual. Either Yeah, Brother Ben, if you can contact Brother Nana, just be sure whether he's able to rejoin us or whether the Abosom have intervened indefinitely. Let us know, Brother Benny, and also Brother Pigeon, if you can.
Okay, I'm contacting you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brother Benny. So you can see on the screen, on our screens, an interesting picture of what represents, you might say, represent the African forces, the four forces, as you know. Nana has entered the waiting room, so thank you, Brother Nana, Brother Benny. I think he's able to come back. I will make him co-host once he returns, unless he becomes co-host automatically.
I'm very sorry. There was a power factory.
Yeah, you don't apologize,
sorry for
brother.
that.
Don't worry, don't apologize. I'm making you co-host again, so you can proceed with.
All
yeah,
right,
so you can
okay.
proceed with the slides. Yeah, you are now co-host. Please put your slides up. Continue. In your absence, Brother Nana, I was saying that the Abosom have intervened. the Abosom of electric power, electrical energy have intervened. Yeah, thank you very much. So, brothers and sisters, I'm handing over now to
in fact, this was
Nana.
somebody trying to buy energy on it, and it fluctuated. Anyway, so let's proceed. So it's a sacred system that is with material forms. Like I said, it can either be made with stones, wood, or metal, or the combination of that. Mostly, it is the energy that wants to work with you who directs you how to form it. Or there's also a foundation as to how to start it. And I was saying that one of these days, if we have you around, I will take you to one of the grandmasters of African spirituality, then so that once it is made, any energy can speak to you through it. Then it's a spiritual interface between the realm. This is where the sensation and perception comes in, the divine realm and human consciousness. So here, the divine realm, the energies, the entities have to speak to you, but you won't understand their so they interface to decode the message they are giving you, so you can now the aspect of
Brother Nana, just so you know, you are beginning to break. Yeah, just so you know, your voice is now breaking, whereas it wasn't before. It's just for your information. Thank you.
The EPs, yeah.
I think we need to pour some libations to please the ancestors.
Brother Nana, just so you know, your voice is breaking and I can't hear you well. You might want to just maybe go and come back in again if that will. Yeah, brothers and sisters, we are really sorry for the interference of the Abosom. They are interfering with our listening and our brother's presentation. We apologize. As you can see, he's dropped off again and he's coming back. Please read the screen as he's left it on the screen for us. So the screen hasn't gone off, which is and the screen has dropped out. I'm sure he'll be back again, brothers and sisters. I know we are all eager to to hear. Yeah, Brother Nana, sorry
All
about
right. All right,
You are-
thank you. I was trying to change the Wi-Fi. I mean, the one
Excellent.
I switched on wasn't working properly. Sorry.
Excellent. No, it's okay. You don't need to apologize, brother. We love you. Just carry on.
All right, so this is where our human persons come in. They are comfort, the diviners and stuff. This is where we have to meet them because, I mean, if somebody sends you, like we used to have in our owning system, somebody wants to communicate to you via the telegram or whatever, you needed a device to receive your message. And then if somebody wants to communicate to you on a phone, tell you a message from afar, you need a phone to listen to the conversation. Inside the phone has what we call the earpiece, the mouthpiece, the screen, the whatever, which imitates human senses and gets the communication, decodes the message for you. But here we are talking about an organic system. So the output device are the human beings. In few cases, you get output device to be in a vacuum, like you can experience in sometimes somewhere with some of the diviners. When you go and then they call the energy will speak from the vacuum. A statue will be there, but you won't see where the voice is coming from and he's speaking. In that sense, you realize that the energy, though using the human interface, but the mouthpiece is there. Let me give you something small. You will love it. I just came from the Volta region. For my work, I visit most of the Akonfo and the diviners. And then one friend I visited, his bosom or his energy saw me around and then told them they should greet me. And I knew what the energy likes. He likes to smoke. So I bought a cigar for the energy. And then when he gave the energy and it was smoking, in fact, they put it on where the energy has directed them to put it. And you see it's going, like you see somebody smoking it. Then energy said I should sing a song for him. He want me to sing a song for him. Imagine this. Then I sang this song from Lennon. What's the name? Is it John Lennon or Imagine There's No Heaven? I don't know if you know this song. And to my surprise, when I started singing, the energy was singing along with me. You see, you may think this is not real, but most of the people I was there with, they cannot speak proper English. But the energy was singing John Lennon's song with me and told me that is a warrior song. You see, so this is what I'm talking about. Some other times they will speak through the human person and use the human person's senses to communicate with the people who are accessing the information. Other times they will speak in a vacuum, but still they need the human person as a divine. So what are we talking about? This bosom downloads multidimensional knowledge, which is ancestral, spiritual, and cosmic information. Now, if we want to do some kind of bosom as an organic super processor, trying to look at a juxtaposition with what we know already from our understanding with AI. It is comparable to a cosmic smartphone. Here, what you have to understand is that this smartphone we are talking about is not an ordinary smartphone. This is an organic smartphone. You will notice when we're talking about artificial intelligence that, there is a form of processor, there's a form of information, output, input, sensory perception, and stuff. Decoding information that has been encoded. Here, information encoded through multidimensional space is decoded through the bosom in the organic processing way. Now, it downloads and decodes infinite wisdom from different dimensions. this is where it becomes so interesting. The third point, no limit to database. There is no limit to database. As there is limit to database for artificial intelligence. They can I've not got to the comparative analysis, but you can notice here that anything you ask artificial intelligence, the answer you get is what is already programmed within. But here, there's no limit. In fact, I want to surprise you to know that the spiritual system or the energy system also works like our system here. You may ask your energy probably to tell you about how an aeroplane is made. He will tell you, he can tell you about the component, but how it is organized, give him snap, and he will get that information for you. Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to tap into another energy, which has the information. So it is a kind of interconnected organic super processor. Gets information once it is fed. So it taps into spiritual and ancestral consciousness. And that is why your bloodline, your DNA, gives them a lot of information. You go to some other shrines, as soon as you get there, they put an egg in your palm. What is the egg doing? Those who understand a bit of the tree language, egg is called kusia. And one of the Okonfor or the diviner or the Togwe, one of them, what he told me is that the word kusia literally means go and learn. So whenever they put egg in your palm or put an egg on the ground or hit it on the ground, they are asking the egg to go and learn the dimension of the person or the communicated words, how it is wired. So it breaks information to start working. That is egg, kusia. So there's no limit to the information Abosom can get. But as I said again, it uses the human interface as the mouthpiece and then the earpiece. So let me show you, sometimes it may look like this. Other times it's like this. It depends. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes maybe like this, and then they will create a mouth, especially the energies that like to smoke, and they will put a cigar there. Now, if you can see the hole inside that bosom that is created, sometimes when you make sacrifices, some of them, they drop the blood there, or they drop the alcohol or whatever there. I mean, in the intelligence of the energies, they consume it from there. You see, you should understand that one of the highest sacrifice you can do to an energy is to offer it or offer him blood. Now, let's do this comparative analysis. We've already understood what artificial intelligence is to some extent, and also what Nananom Abosom is. So here, if we are talking about the features that between artificial intelligence and Bosom, then we start with the base code, which uses binary codes, zeros and ones. But Nananom Abosom will use spiritual frequencies and quantum vibrations. I have a paper, you can get it online. It says, in fact, I wrote it as African traditional spirituality precedes quantum physics. But in the academic paper, I think I restructured the topic to mean what quantum physics have in common with African traditional spirituality. This is a published paper. You can get it online. Okay, so it uses frequencies and quantum vibrations. Now, what is the processor? I mean, we all know about Silicon Valley, which process most of the big information of the data we all access on the internet. Now here, the processor comes through the bosom, the sacred thing. Other times, I mean, you can also restrict them. Other times is the sacred human. Some Abosom like the Motia and stuff, they can even work with you to understand that they don't need you to create that. They come to you and you see them because you yourself, they make you part of the processor. I mean, the device. Now, away from the intelligence, what is the intelligence source? For AI, it is data, big data, like the one stored in the Silicon Valley, and then which comes through the human input. But the source of data for Nananom Abosom, our divine spiritual intelligence, is the divine realm from our ancestors, from our cosmic field. What is the interface? The interface for AI is through our mobile phones, our laptops, our cars, or whatever. But the interface for Nananom Abosom is the rituals that are performed, the shrines, the sacred places that these things are done, and then the sacred spaces, the incantations. These are the interface. How is this programmed? For artificial intelligence, human beings program and then embed algorithms into them so that it functions the way they want. But with Nananom Abosom, our spiritual, ancestral spiritual intelligence, the rituals, when you go and they are singing, I know one shrine, when the energy tells the human interface to go and pluck leaves for somebody's disease, he doesn't have to talk. He has to start singing. I understand that when he starts singing, he gets this. So the energy directs him to pluck the leaves. That is what happens. So the incantations, all the things that are done there actually gives them the information on how they are programming the whole thing. When you go there and you want to program yourself so that you cleanse yourself of bad aura, all the processes you go through, the rituals are the programming. They program you in that way to embed ancestral codes on your lifeline so that all the things you are looking for will be done. And what is the output? I mean, we've already spoken about that. For our artificial intelligence, the microphone, the speakers, the screens and stuff. But for the sacred, for our ancestral super intelligence is the sacred human. They are comfort, the Togbe, the diviners, the shamans. They become the output device for the whole thing. This is what baffles me, the hypocrisy of our time. African traditional spirituality had been demonized, despite all what we are talking about becoming the basis for most of the things that are going on in our, intelligence dispensation. Some principles behind AI glorified and monetized. Meanwhile, that of Nananom Abosom has been demonized. Right now, we are accessing a whole lot of information. And if you are ignorant about this, then you will know. But anytime you enter Google, you enter ChatGPT, you enter to access any information on the internet, you are paying. You are paying from the credit or the bundles you do on your phone. So they are summing up a huge sums of income riding on our ancestral intelligence. That's, I mean, a periphery of it is what they are, using to glorify themselves. What makes it so sad again is that our politicians and our pastors secretly consult this Abosom, but in public, they denounce them. Now, I can give you a whole lot of names. I won't even talk of I can give you. If you like, mention any big pastor or whatever you know in Africa who is doing at least 10% of the miracles real. And I can trace, because I'm working with most of the energies, I can trace and tell you where they are getting that miracle from. One of the diviners even told me that when they come, they want the show, what they call the magic show, to do wonders for people to follow them. So they don't even look for the actual solution for human suffering. They want what people will follow them, believe in them, and they can do them. And at the shrine, people, I mean, experienced diviners, they don't like to do this show off. I know a diviner who can throw air in the egg and it will suspend it till he decides to bring it down. Another thing he does to our surprise is he asks you to bring your own chicken, fowl, and asks you to cut them into pieces and spread it on a compound. And then through incantations, the pieces of the chicken will come together and the chicken will get up and go. You understand? But this kind of thing, your pastors will go there for this kind of some aspect of miracle, do it in a church, and they will shout and give the praise to Jesus. And then demonize our ancestors, our politicians. They are almost always there. I mean, I meet them almost always when I go to the shrines. They come in the night. They won't come in a V8. Sometimes they even come in taxis to assess this information and then leave. They are giving directives. I wrote another paper. I think maybe when you type it, that is also not, this one is actually not an academic paper. It was just an open letter when the president of Ghana was elected. I said, you can write it down and check later. Mr. President, honor your ancestors as they have honored you. I remember the day of election, our president had to go to his father's graveyard for rituals, to pray, to stand there and pray. I don't care how he prayed, but once you have entered the what do you call it, the ancestral home, which is the graveyard, to your father's graveyard to pray before casting your vote, it is a directive that has been given to you. And this gave him a resounding victory. And after that, when they organized a public day of prayer for people in Ghana, they excluded the traditional people. And that was a very big blow. And I had to write that short article to a newspaper, and it was published. So this whole development has kind of disconnects us from our ancestral systems. And because of that, there is a huge tragedy in everything that we are doing as people. We are lost. We don't know what we need. We don't know what we want. We don't have any connection with our ancestors to be able to see the way forward or know our past. And the sad thing I always say is that few people who patronize our shrines, when you meet them there, or when they come to the diviners, their problem very minute. They don't think wide. Like most of our, I mean, let me also give you another surprise. Yesterday, at home, where I was coming from, the shrine, the friend I visited, I met 7 white men, white people. I mean, I think about 5 of them were ladies and 2 guys. They were led by a black person to the shrine. And you see, the beauty is that the energy understands all language. So when they speak their language, the energy hears it, but the energy will never speak their language. It will speak a word for the diviner to interpret for them. Now, this is what I'm saying. When you go to listen to probably the problem these people brought, it is groundbreaking problems. Not let my wife love me, let my husband stay with me alone, kill that my co-worker for me, let them fall sick. No. We blacks, we assess these energies and we don't go for groundbreaking issues that will put us on track. What is the implication for development? Before probably I talk about the implication for development, I mean, let me chip in the issue of accessibility. This is one major problem I think everybody who is kind of awakening is talking about, because many fake diviners have infiltrated the system. So there's a big problem even assessing through somebody you think is genuine. Maybe I know when I upgrade this presentation, I will share the slides with you when I add the accessibility. But the first point of accessibility for me is awakening. You have to wake up. Know who you are from your past, your present, and what your inner voice is telling you about your future. That is the first stage. The second stage is that you are a 13.7 billion years old organic smartphone already. All the things that are used to build this organic smartphone, the energies used to communicate are already in you. And that is why they can get into humans so easily and then use them to do a lot of things. You can build your own self and get ancestors to communicate with you. I'll give you one example. I have been doing this work as at the moment, I don't have this organic smartphone or Abosom with me, but they are in my head. They communicate with me. There was one time we had to go for a conference. It was very difficult to get funds. And I poured libation. I told my ancestors, you have started this, your work. We are struggling to move on. This conference that is coming, a lot of people want to attend, but there are no funds. I was there and somebody called me, a friend called me that, hey, do you like to stick lottery? I said, well, I'm not very good at it, but if you want me to do it, that is fine. Then he sent me 2 digits. As soon as I look at the digits, I felt very bad in my body. I mean, I felt very uncomfortable. And that is when you realize they want to talk to you. I mean, I'm giving you a gist of it. Then I just leaned my head backwards, like I was sleeping. Then I was off all of a sudden. And it took me to somewhere I could see a ball. Around the ball were 5 numbers written, but only 2 had been highlighted. The rest looked blurred. Then all of a sudden I wake up and I said, what is it? Then they told me again, we are giving you money for the conference. And I said, hey, then I've forgotten the number. Then they told me again, the number again, and I wrote it down. And I won't lie to you, that was the money we used for the conference. So you see, I have a practical experience on how you can develop yourself and start getting communication from the divine. Trust your instinct. Go deep inside yourself. Your temple is a divine mobile phone, and he can make calls through you. In that sense, you have all the components we are talking of within yourself. But there is a problem when you are not sure of the information you are getting. That is when you need to seek for an external services. Now, how do we improve accessibility? Already, we have a problem of the location of the services. Because of the demonization, everybody is hiding. Now, we have to find a way to locate these people. NATAF, the organization I am leading, we are trying to list credible diviners on our page. We have started, going through some things with them. Very soon we'll list them there. And it doesn't matter where you are, you can access a lot of things from them. And then community base. We also need to make these diviners available within communities. Sometimes it's not out of place. If somebody in South Africa feels that his ancestors are calling him to work with him, he can consult a grandmaster to help him develop himself so that he can actually go back to his own community and serve the people. There is a digital platform that is coming. Today, I spoke with a gentleman who has also started a movement. What they are doing is that they are using a way to extend artificial intelligence to tap into consciousness so that When you assess artificial intelligence, you can get answers from your ancestors. I don't know how he's doing that, but it is one of the ways that are coming. But in terms of accessibility, like I said, we are finding way to, what do you call it? Broadcast the good ones so they can be known on the digital platforms so they can be accessed. We also need training and capacity building. One of the serious challenges we have, when I went to Burkina Faso and I went to a lady diviner, the diviner was a lady, a woman. Apparently, the husband has divorced her because of the work she's doing. But what I realized was also that she could only speak the Mosi language. And I needed, I think, 2 people before I could get understanding, because I needed somebody who could speak the Mosi and French. And then the French person could also speak French and English, because I'm not good at French. So we need to start training our diviners in at the academic field, speaking, writing, and all those stuff, so that they can ask a lot of valuable questions. They can listen to us. They can also search for issues for us. Now, we also need to be culturally sensitive. In fact, I have, in a way, trained myself to adapt to every culture I find myself in. Because if you don't take care, you may think you are okay within your cultural zone, and assessing an energy within another culture is something out of the line. But to be very sincere with you, the energies, they are united. It is us humans who are very divided. I have seen 2 diviners who don't talk to each other. But when the spirit possesses them, when the spirit possesses 2 of them, they start hugging and they start moving together. As soon as the spirit leaves them, 2 of them, they don't talk again. I mean, sometimes it's very funny. So what are some of the challenges we are having in accessibility? There's no regulatory framework. So people do what they want. So one of the things we want to do is that in Ashanti region, the Suman is taxing us to write a constitution for the Akonfo, and also code of conduct, so that if any of them misbehaves, the code of conduct will put them on track. That what I'm saying is, when you are assessing this externally, again, once this is done, it will reduce the stigma and the mistrust. I mean, people have started waking up. People have started expressing interest in our diviners. But if the regulatory frameworks are done, it will boost the trust people have in them. But what I'm saying, even there's also another thing. Most of the Akonfos, their children, and even themselves, we are talking of education. This morning, I had visitors from Kumasi here. They had called me when I was in Ho. When I came this morning, they came to meet me. Young girl at the secondary school had been picked by one energy. And she didn't understand what was happening to her, so she had been moving from one school to another. And somebody told them they could come to me and explain to me. And we realized, when she started speaking, I realized some energies, she sees them. When he described them, I got to know who they were. So I had to take them this morning to Suman. Now, look at this girl who is getting stigma at the school, 2 schools they have taken her to. Probably that she's possessed. Don't you think we also need to establish a school, a traditional school, where this kind of systems are understood? And then the people will be trained in a kind of a loving manner, so they don't come up as angry priests or angry diviners. Another thing is potential ways we can solve this one. There should be a collaboration and integration. So what our association, the NATAF, is trying to do is that we want to bring together all this Akonfo into one skill, so that in a way we can kind of have a basic understanding of what we're doing, share the friendship, share a lot of things, have a common code of conduct. I mean, there will be diversity, but the unity will also help us not only to save our country from what is going on, but African in its entirety. It is the major reason why I've been going through Burkina, Mali, and all those places. I want to bring all these traditional spiritualists together, probably starting from every country. Once we have leadership from the countries, one day, even if the politicians don't have United States of Africa, we'll have the United States of, or United Traditional Spiritualist Association, something like that, so we can fight for what we want. Then there should be also a public education to enhance the accessibility. Once people still have the programming of demons or demonic ancestral staffs, we need to re-educate them. Like I'm very happy with the program you do and you put on a YouTube, and people, you know, assess them and then educate themselves about what is going on. Very, very important. Now, I come to implication for development. There's the need to reclaim our Abosom as indigenous knowledge technology. I mean, this will take us back to ancient Kemet, where everything was together. When you are going through a line of life and you think there is a problem, you can go back and ask. In fact, in the ancient times, when you are born, you are taken to a diviner to tell you whether you have reincarnated or you have been brought to do a certain kind of work. With this, let me give you another story. The recent Asante Hima that died, I don't know if this story is not public, then I'm sorry I'm bringing it out. The Suman told me when the woman was a young girl, they went for consultation, what they call in Twi, they call it a busa. And the diviner told the woman she will be Asante Hima. Oh, the woman also knew that the people around the stool are so many in such a way that it will never reach her. But when she was, I think, 80 years or so, many, many things happened and it fell on her. And for that reason, I think when she became the Asante Hima, she had to go to the shrine and then acknowledge the prophecy that has come true. I mean, this is what the leader told me about some of this, and because of the studies we are doing. I think if this is for public knowledge, it doesn't matter. It's part of it. Also, we need to recognize our spiritual system as valid source of innovation and information. I have spoken about our senses. If you can close your eyes and feel that fire is burning in your house, and you go there and truly there's fire burning there, why do you tell me this is not source of information? If somebody can tell me numbers and I will use and get money to do a program, why do you tell me this is not source of information? So we can use that as a system for valid sources of innovation as well, so that we can transform our society, bringing in new things. You can sit in front of a Suman or an ancestral energy and ask them step-by-step questions as to how you can create anything you want on this planet. Again, we need to find a way to integrate this ancestral wisdom with the modern tools for African's transformation. I love the song that was playing when we started when I logged in. And I think this is what we need. In fact, every one of us, irrespective of how far you have been programmed within this Western religious system, please, even if you can't leave it, because I realize most of us, our whole lifestyle is actually integrated into the Western religious system. Find a way to integrate your ancestral wisdom to it. It will help not only transform, I mean, in the micro level, it will transform your own family, and then, continue to the bigger transformation of the African continent. And what we have to know in a final sense is that we are losing our ethics. our resilience and everything that makes us Africans. This is because the Western missionaries who first approached our land, after demonizing our system of spirituality, made sure they cut us away from our ancestors. Now, once this was done, all the, behaviors that were frowned upon by our ancestors trooped into our lifestyle. Now you talk about issues of homosexuality, issues of, I'm trying to even write a paper. I'm sure when I even pronounce it, some people will start looking at it, and to be good, we get a bigger picture of it. I don't think we should start talking about gender equality. Probably we should be talking about gender equitability. Because the role of a woman in African traditional system is bigger than man. Men probably are just what I would call prime ministers for our women to become owners and drivers of our society. This is a call for some intellectual analysis, and I hope our women will not allow these Western ideologies to infiltrate our family system and our family values. So this is, in a nutshell, what I try to preach. We can see on our left side, there is innovation, there is kind of development, society has developed. But look, we can tap into the ancestral knowledge, the ancestral codes, the wisdom to develop what is on the left. This picture should speak volume to us in most of the things we want to do. A call to action. For the academia, I will say that the study of bosom and metaphysical technology should be embedded in our curriculum. Unfortunately, I don't know which African country that is even studying history as it happened. In Ghana here, the history you study, the only history you study about pre-colonial system is a summary of Mansa Musa and stuff, and even just 2 or 3 lines. The rest are Sir Georgesburg and whatever. No, but if we have to embed our metaphysical system, then the history of how our ancestors use this energy to develop themselves will be embedded in the minds of the children. And look, very soon you get a lot of children carrying energies. This has been my call, and we are going to have a conference at Legon on November, I think November 19th, 23rd. I wish members can participate, if not in person, online. The conference is supposed to talk about African finance system and then merge African traditional spirituality that can enhance our financial systems. This, my call, or the presentation I'll do, which is also a paper I've already published, a case for public day for traditional worship in Ghana. It's also a published paper you can get online. I think that the government should declare a public day for traditional worship and ancestral veneration all over Africa. What this can do will be that people who have forgotten themselves, people who don't know who they are, once this is done, I bet you the first point of accessibility I spoke about, people can get them. You can start knowing who you are. Once you know who you are and you are conscious, the energy to start working with you directly. And the youth should embrace indigenous innovation and knowledge system. We, those who have been lucky to wake up, should kind of find a way to orient them. It's difficult. I mean, if you look at what is dragging the youth now, I was telling them, on those who watch TikTok, I have a video going viral when I spoke at the day we had the other meeting. I told them that when you go to our universities, about more than 90% of our youth are working so that they can they are studying so that they can get somebody to employ them. None of them is trying to think of innovation, because the education system internalizes subordination in them. But if they embrace indigenous innovation and understanding of indigenous innovation, you realize that they can develop things themselves. They will come up to build things other people will have to come and buy, rather than they being consumers. All of us need to also to rethink AI as a synthetic echo of a sacred system that has lived long ago. Now, my final reflection, which had become a summary of whatever I'm talking about, is that artificial intelligence is a latecomer, a very latecomer to a reality our ancestors mastered in sacred groves and ancestral altars. And it is not today that we are going to get information that we humans don't know. This information is within our ancestral traditional systems, and they are already on our altars for accessibility. Thank you very much, and I hope I have made a very nice case.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, brother. Brother Nana Yao We Asamoah Bwedi. Thank you so much for your presentation. I think we are right to ask you to come back after last week's voice presentation without the slides, because you have showed us the slides the week before. But I think today you have taken your time to explain a lot for us, and I'm sure that our members here have a lot of questions that they want to ask. I'm also sure that you have brought for a lot of people recollections and memories and reflections that we have experienced along the way, and so on. I mean, there is a lot. You have touched on a lot of things that if I want to myself talk about, will take another hour. But I think for conscientism, two things I want to mention. For those of you who are not familiar, conscientism is the philosophy and ideology for decolonization with specific reference to the African Revolution. And listening to our brother, it seems to me that he is also talking about the African Revolution from that perspective. And for those of you who don't know, Kwame Nkrumah, or Sajifo himself, was a believer in what the brother has just talked about. The symbol of the Convention People's Party, which is a cockerel, itself was a revelatory experience he had. Our brother, another Yao, who has spoken on Kwame Nkrumah at length in Ghana, has recollected this history publicly, that Nkrumah, in his vehicle, one of his journeys, they had to stop because this was in the night, and there was a hen with its chicks crossing the road at that time of the night, and the vehicle had to stop for the hen to cross the road with the chickens. And the interpretation was that chicken and its chicks was actually the Abosom, as our brother is referring to. So that is where the symbol of the CPP comes from. The CPP, for those who don't know, is the Convention People's Party, and that's a party that led the struggle for Ghana's, the independence of the Gold Coast, the Ashanti Protectorate, the Northern Territories, and what is called the Transvolta Togoland to become one nation called Ghana. And again, for those who don't know, Nkrumah had a philosophy club, and this club met at Flagstaff House, and they had discussions. In those days, it was a whiteboard, with chalk, and that is where they discussed philosophy and ideology. I mentioned this also to bring to your attention the role of what the brother has talked about in the struggle for independence on the African continent. Because as you can imagine, if politicians are consulting deities or shrines or whatever, then it must occur to you that it is not new that in the struggle for independence, our forefathers and mothers would have also tapped into the infinite intelligence, if you like, in order for them to have the knowledge, the understanding to fight for our independence. Now, the struggle between Western forms of knowing and the African indigenous forms of knowing, which the brother has touched upon, as you know, is at the heart of the demonization of African priests. You recall that was the reason for the persecution of African priests during the formation of the Holy Roman Empire. And a lot of our priests had to run for their lives because they were demonized. The Roman system wanted to centralize power. And to centralize power, they didn't want the Africans to contest that power. And so you see that also in our modern political systems where you are told, for instance, if you're a chief, you can't run for political office, and so on and so forth. So our indigenous knowledge systems are alive. The brother has shared them with us, and so on and so forth. When I was a young boy, I remember going to the village, my mother's village, and there was this young man who was speaking to something, they called it spirit in those days, and the spirit would speak. I heard the voice of the spirit, but I didn't understand what the spirit was saying. But he said, well, he understood and interpreted it for us. Not for me, but interpreted it, and I heard it. I was outside. I was hearing the spirit speaking, and I didn't know it is what the brother is referring to. So divination is alive, and I think, and so on. So a lot has been said. The final thing I want to draw attention is that spirituality played a big role in the struggle for independence and the fight for independence. For those of you who recollect, before Nkrumah arrived in Ghana, there was an organization called the Fabian Society. And the Fabian Society was also linked with theosophy. Those who know theosophy, and they were the precursors of the struggle for independence, because they were fighting the colonialists on African soil before the Nkrumahs arrived and continued the struggle. And those were the days when if Kenyan freedom fighters were arrested, the Ghanaians in Ghana would fast, and Africans would fast and pray and invoke all kinds of assistance for the independence struggle to be successful. Today, from what the brother is saying, we need to go back to our indigenous knowledge in the struggle for the independence, the total liberation, unification, development of Africa, from what we've heard. Because it seems to me that without access to this, which they have demonized, because it competes successful with them, clearly you can see that we need this in order to win the war. And the war hasn't finished, as you know. The political independence was the first stage. The next stage is economic independence, which has to go with unification. And the third stage is development. So I'm sure you have questions for the brother. Brother Nananom, can I start with the first question to you, which is
yes,
this?
please go ahead.
Which is this? Is it possible, if the human body itself is the smartphone, then does it stand to reason that the type of body you have will determine the extent to which you can tap into the cosmic knowledge and the cosmic intelligence? And that if the natural state of the human body is melaninated, then it must follow that a melaninated body is if you like the most natural, body that can tap into these systems. Am I right in thinking that?
Yes, I'm very happy with this question because
Yeah, brother, and
it actually gives foundations to
yeah,
the first point of accessibility.
yeah, hold on. Let me finish my question. So if I am right,
Okay.
do you think that is precisely the reason why the black body is demonized so much? Because it in itself, it is already a winner. Thank you.
Okay.
That's my question.
Yes. So, like I said, yes. You see, the very substance that controls. I said this on the radio the day I spoke with you. This, our planet, is within a solar system, which belongs to kind of another galaxy belonging to another Milky Way, and then probably we are going towards what we call the multiverse. But if we are talking about planet Earth, the substance that runs planet Earth is melanin. And the energies that are within planet Earth resonate with melanin. So if you eat well and live in a sacred, you see, sacred in parentheses, because our ancestors know what they call sacred, not the white man's sacred. Sacred means alignment with nature, alignment with your ancestors, and alignment with your past. Then your body prepares itself towards meeting or becoming an organic mobile phone. And that is why our children are now being taken over by the energies, because most of them, they live in the innocence of life, and then they have not actually soiled their bodies in many ways. So you need all these things to be able to do that. And that is, you said, that is also the main reason why the black skin, anything that resonates with melanin, has been demonized. You see the pictures of Angel Michael stepping on the head of a black person. The devil is a black person. Our own brother, Yeshua, has painted with a yellow wash and then given a wig with a bag of cement and iron rods. And then they call our people to go and worship him. So everything that has to do with the substance that controls this planet has been destroyed. I mean, I won't go far. Our food system in Africa now, there is a kind of a secret agenda to replace all the food systems with GMO. And our food system, the original grains, also helps to enhance our melanin production or increment. So you realize that once you reduce melanin in your system, then your color starts changing. And most of our women think it is okay to look white, but you're actually becoming alienated to this planet which you belong to. I don't know if I have given some answers.
Yes, you have. And Sister Juliana has posted something in the comment. I can't see any hands up, so I take it there are no questions from our audience. So I'm going to read what Sister Juliana has said, and you can respond. She says, Africans are still practicing their religion, however. It was displaced through colonialism, enslavement, and neo-colonialism, perpetuated through their media and education system, images, etc. This is completed with mental slavery. Can you comment on that, please?
Please, is it Africans still practicing their religion? However,
Yes,
Africans, I didn't get it right.
Africans are still practicing their religion. However, it was displaced through colonialism, enslavement, and neo-colonialism, perpetuated through media and education system, images, etc. This is completed with mental slavery. So this is what our sister he's saying.
Yes, you see, let me give one revelation to this. I was actually a seminarian, almost a Catholic priest. And during my seminary days, I didn't joke with doing extra studies. Most of my studies, aside doing the academic work within the seminary, I tell people that the formal education has formed me just about 25%. Everything I know has been personal kind of research and studies, because the mainstream education won't give you this. The castle schools started education, and the education system was not to produce people who continue to enhance your traditions, your what do you call it? Access to the resources that you have. And this is why on when it was accepted of education sharing, I mean, a public form of enlightenment, people should be educated. The curriculum wasn't changed to make the Africans study things around themselves, but to keep on depositing information that the very founders of the education system knew was not going to help the people. Their mentality was that, one, if you don't let us take your resources because you think we are colonizing you, then what will leave you is mental slavery. Now, what I want us to actually keep in mind is that not only have they given us education system images with the mental slavery strategy, but they have put institutions to guide them. Every institutions you have in Africa now is to do a check system is in line. It doesn't go outside it. So a typical example is the video I showed when we decided to system, and they did sure this never happens. And exactly my sister has typical example, the potential disconnection from your ancestral quantum DNA. They started that by changing our names. And even now, we allow them to name our streets. We allow them to mine gold in the rivers that contain energies that are working for us. And they have trained our people, merging with them to do the galamsey to destroy our waters. These are all, look, you go to the port, you see a number of chamfans, a number of excavators that are coming into the country. And now it is very difficult to access a clean river. All this were the brainwashing, the mental slavery they have given us to let us think that the black man cannot do anything for himself. He has to come to the West to do that. And
brother,
please, so my sister is right.
Yeah,
the
brother
mental
Nana.
Slavery
Brother Nana, you got some hands up. Yeah, there are some hands up. So maybe if you make your answers brief.
Oh, okay, let's
make your answers briefer. You can take more answers. Yeah, you can kind of speak more. So we have our lovely sister Injedika Kamo. She has a hand up. Please, shall we hear her? Thank you.
Yes, please let her go.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you from my heart. Nana Yao. Thank you for this very, very relevant and touching presentation. I appreciate what you're doing in the present and applaud and look forward to your future innovative work within every institution that hopefully will open up its doors for the work that you certainly can help them with. I have two quick questions. The first one is, many of our many of our freedom fighting thrusts, assertive or aggressive thrusts, were preceded by leaders who had a connection, a strong connection in the spiritual realm. Prior to the Haitian Revolution, many of our leaders, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, and so on, I'm wondering, was the primary reason, what was the primary reason for traveling and working with those in the Sahel region in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, I think Niger. So that's one question. And the second question just has to do.
Sanjidika,
Yes, please.
your question is not clear. What is the question? The question one. What is
primary reason for traveling and connecting in with the leaders in the Sahel region. You said you had traveled to Burkina Faso, Mali.
You mean?
Yes.
For Nanayao, yes,
Not
please.
travel, right? Okay. All right. Go on with the second question.
Yeah.
Second question just has to do with a bit of physics in relationship to our indigenous practices. I've been very curious about this notion of dark matter or dark energy. They're not necessarily the same, but I'm just wondering, what is the connection? Is there a connection between those potential phenomenon and our spirit realm, where our Abosom, other entities reside?
Yeah, thank you for those two questions. Brother Nanaya, remember there are still two hands up, so make the answers brief so you can
Yes,
answer
I'll make it brief.
the rest of the questions. Thank you.
First of all, let me say the word Nana itself is a respected title, so you may not need even to bring the brother, so we can go fast. Now, for the first question, I wouldn't want to enter into the geopolitics that is going on. Probably we can have another day for it, but you know, the African traditional spirituality is one. It is the Kemetic spirituality that has spread. Even the one they are practicing in India is still African traditional spirituality. It's just that it has been whitewashed. I'm sure those who will bear with me, India was part of Ethiopia until the canal was drawn. That. So what I'm trying to do is to get every nation's ancestral and traditional spirituality organized, kind of institutionalized for leadership purposes, so we can bring them together. You see, the stages my brother mentioned about how African can unite, there is a stage for spiritual connectedness. And because of how our people, our spiritual diviners are disintegrated and run away out of finding refuge for being demonized and being chased out, we have to let them know they are loved, we need them, and they have to come together. That's probably the basic reason for my traveling. Now, the second question, I will share my what do you call it? My research with you, quantum physics and traditional spirituality later. But what I just want you to understand is that,
Brother Nana, just so you know, I have shared two of your publications in the chat. The two you mentioned.
Oh, okay. Then that makes it. That makes it. So there is a good connection. You see, physics will look at some of the aspects that come beyond human efforts, like machines and other should work. But you see, right now we are talking. My voice is able to reach South Africa. The scientists will want to know what carries my voice. What is the smallest unit of what do you call it? Substance that can be divisible within my voice. Then they are going to what they call the photons and other things. But the question is that the more they search through quantum physics, the more they see that you have to enter into African traditional spirituality. I've explained that in my work. When you are pouring libation, you are calling the cosmic order and other things, vibration frequencies and reality. So it's explained widely in the research. Please get time and read that so that we can answer a few other people. Thank you.
Yes, please.
I think-
Medasi.
And Sister Angelica, I don't know if you know, but in Constantism, physics features heavily there, and it's for this. Is one of the reasons is what the brother is referring to. Thank you. Let's
Okay.
now go to Brother Benny, and then we'll go to Sister Ida. I know her hand is down, but I'll still ask Sister Ida to speak. Yes, Brother Benny.
Yeah,
your
Bro Kwame,
question,
and
please. Yes, sir.
Nana too. Yeah, let me come in saying that, look, many people don't know that we've been relegated back. The fact that we were advanced with our systems in terms of spirituality and everything, because we came from Egypt, we came from the Kemet, we came through the Nubian, and we had advanced in these things to the point that we didn't even need institutions, we didn't need temples, we didn't need so many things. And you see how simple our systems are. But then we've been brought back to grade one. I always tell people that we've been sent back to grade one, which we shouldn't even respect at all. But I mean, once these things are happening to us because we go to mission schools, we go to almost everything, institutions that were brought to us, targeted putting us down, we have accepted the fact that that is how things are naturally. You see, so we need to re-educate society. We need to write a lot to those
Brother,
who can read.
sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. It's okay. Someone's chat is showing. I don't know if you want that. Maybe it's by error. I don't know if it's by. Right. Thank you. So we protect confidentiality, as you can see. Our co-chair move very fast. Thank you, Brother Benny. Brother Benny, did you have
thank you very much.
Brother Benny, did you have a question or you just had a comment? Did you have a question for Nana? Okay, you didn't have it. Okay.
It was a comment.
A comment.
And
Okay.
like Nana too, I also, in fact, even in South Africa here, I was a pastor, almost like being called a priest, but I had to come out to actually go back into our ancestral system. So some people feel like you can't come out. It is possible to come out, even though people will give you negative things.
Nana himself, I don't know if he knows that Nkrumah also followed the path he just told us about.
I'm aware.
Nkrumah seminary. And I've never said this before, but I am myself an ordained priest. Although I've never. Oh yes, I am an ordained priest, but it's not something I practice.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, brother, Sister Ida, please come in. You had your hand up. You have a question for us.
I did. But okay, maybe I can ask him an easy question, which is either yes or no. Is are the spiritualists also herbalists, or is that a different field?
No, that's a good question. Nana. I think
yes,
Nana mentioned
yes,
this.
I got a question.
Yeah, go on.
Yes and yes. Yes and yes. Let me tell you one secret. Let me tell you one secret. Everything that you want to do on this earth, you use leaves. Even if you want to teleport, we have people who can just pick 2 or 3 leaves, bring them together, put it in your eyes and your ears. You close your eyes, you open your eyes, and you are in your house. So leaves are very important in African spirituality, and that's why you don't need to destroy them. We find balance in nature. Thank you.
Thank you. And the leaves were here before we arrived. Anyway, I don't know why we are destroying them. Yeah, the guys were here before we arrived.
Yes,
Anyway,
including our river.
precisely. They were here before you came, and now you want to destroy them. And the people they are older than you. Why don't you respect them? No, the time is 3 minutes to 9. I think we are coming to the end of our session. There are no more hands up. So I think all we are left with is to thank brother. Oh, no, I shouldn't say brother. to thank Nana. I should know because, but Nana, you know, some Nanas are not titles. Yeah, so maybe that's why I said brother Nana.
Of course, I was named after a great Nana, so
okay.
that is why the name is there. But
yeah,
maybe
some Nanas
I'll
are
get
not
a
titles. So,
title
yeah.
attached to it later.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Shall we invite?
And I also want to ask permission, maybe before I mute my mic, in case there will be meeting in next week, Saturday, I won't be part. I have this ritual for staying outside the world for 9 days towards my birthday. So it starts this evening. It's just because of this program I'm here. Once I'm done, my phone, everything will go off. 9 days. So
Nana,
sorry if you don't get me.
It's okay. Nana, you mean your F day?
My birthday. Yeah, my F day. F day.
Nana, please.
Thank you.
Share, it's okay. Share with us the link to the conference that is coming at. Is it Legon on finance?
Yes. I think I'll do that with Bernard. That will be more easier for me and faster for me. Then he will give it out.
Excellent. Bernard.
All right. Thank you.
Benny, like Pigeon, has been a blessing.
Benny, yeah,
has been a blessing for us. Since Pigeon arrived, he's helped transform CSG, and since Benny arrived, he's also helping transform us. So we are really thankful to the ancestors and to the Abosom and to the intelligences for bringing us all together. And we've been joined recently by Sister Njidika, wonderful sister who compliments Sister Ida, who has been with us also from the beginning. So we really appreciate all of you. I will invite Brother Pigeon to thank to thank Nana, and then to make the announcement so we can bring the meeting to a close. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brother Kwame. Today I was a student, so I've been silent to learn.
So are we thanking Nana Yao? Can we give him a little clap? Thank you.
Yeah, Sister Ida's proposed that. You can open up your. We can thank you, or you can use the gestures we have.
Thank you very much.
Now,
thank you for the session.
Nana, that was you. That was
Thank you.
Yeah, Nana, I'll look for you for my political issues. I need to consult the Abosom. That's not in.
No, it's so easy. You have a problem.
Consultation.
If anybody needs consultation, talk to me. I will link you up. No problem.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, comrades, we really appreciate your time. Today, we have many people joining us. I know many of you have been patient and silent, but you've learned a lot. We will share this recording. You can maybe go back and listen to it or watch it so that you can get any information in. Brother Nana has actually shared his contact. I have his direct contact as well. If you need anything else, feel free to get in touch with him. I will share also the conference leaflet once it's shared with us so that you can attend to that. But I'll request you to make at least a personal effort to reach out to Nana so that you can connect back, you can sankofa, so that you can be able to be strong enough in our struggle for liberation, the unification of Africa. So thank you very much, everyone who has spent their time to be here. We have spent your data and everything else. And Nana, thank you very much for this good presentation. It was really worth third session for us. And we have been now exhausted. We are fully fed up. I think that's what Brother Kwame will say. We are now full. And we thank you for that. We will always make this recording available for you as well, so that you can use it for any other sharing on any other teaching and learning. Some of the recommendations and the call that you put forth that need to be done is something I think, Brother Kwame, we need to work together to see how we can actualize some of them in terms of how we introduce this knowledge to our education system. Having said that, I would like to remind you all that we are still continuing with our Thursdays Consciousness Studies. We takes place 6 p.m. Ghana time, and we are looking at the great man Kwame Nkrumah, both a theologian and a philosopher. So we are looking at all that together and see what he's sending to us in his philosophy called consciousness, which is basically targeting the decolonization of Africa. And we have other sessions that do actually take place throughout the week. And yeah, let me also appreciate the presence of One Map Africa who have also joined us. And all the recordings for last week have been shared on our YouTube channel. And this recording will also be shared. So feel free to anytime go to our YouTube channel, which I'll share the comments or the links about. And if you want to get part of our Consciousness Study Group WhatsApp, get in touch with me. Because once you have attended our virtual classes, at least you get a chance to be in our WhatsApp group. Having said that, Sister Ida, thank you. And Brother Kwame, thank you for sharing. At least the spirits have accepted my voice to be perfect and clear at this particular moment. May you all have a lovely evening, or either morning or afternoon from wherever you are. And let's meet again next time. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.